Good morning, Butch.
Good morning, Chris. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well, doing pretty well. Why don't we get started off this morning and just tell me a little about yourself, your professional background.
Chris, I'm an experienced project director.
Okay, all right.
I've been in the trade for 30 years. I've got 22 years on the experience on the Las Vegas Strip.
Well, you've seen some changes.
I've seen a lot of changes,
yeah.
And I've gained a lot of education from all these years on the Strip.
All right.
I've been fortunate enough to build a lot of the major hotels on the Strip. Started off with the Mirage as my first one.
Mm-hmm. What was that, 89?
That was started in 88.
88, yeah.
And it was a learning experience altogether. I came from from Western Kentucky. Most of my work there was in industrial work. I came here and I had to learn the craft all over again, being heavy commercial as a hotel and casinos. It's been really an enjoyable trip.
Okay.
And I enjoy it every day.
What would you say has really set you apart? If someone asks you what's really distinguished you or set you apart in your field, what would you say?
Chris, I think what separated me from a lot of people is the fact that I have a college degree in business administration. I've also been trained in the electrical field by the IBEW. And with those two items, I think that I have a lot to offer people. I know that when I walk through the field and checking jobs, I know what it's supposed to be. I can tell if it's installed right. With my degree, I feel like I have the professionalism needed to explain things to managers and owners in a manner that they understand, and go from there.
That's very good. I mean, you have one foot in the management discipline, the business discipline, the other one actually in the trade or the electrical area primarily.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Yeah.
I actually went into the electrical trade after I got out of college, so it was a real treat learning the language and the mannerisms, that the way that the craftsmen assemble these buildings.
Yeah, it's like a culture all its own, isn't it?
Absolutely, and
yeah.
it can be a real shocker.
Well, share with me, if you would, Butch, maybe an example of where that background, that experience has paid off, maybe a success story.
Probably my biggest success story that would interest anybody would be my last project. It was the latest project here on the Strip. I was working with a contractor that had two contracts, and a co-worker of mine was working on the other side of the project, and he was having trouble with explaining things to the general contractor and to the owners. He would disrupt meetings. He didn't have the professionalism that I think you need in Las Vegas. And the general contractor explained things to our vice president that, things needed to change either on our side or they would make the change.
Right.
Well, after about 2 months, the change was made. They dismissed the guy from the project. My vice president and ownership came to me and asked me if I would run the whole project. This was one of the biggest projects that I've ever run, dollar-wise and size-wise.
That's quite a compliment to your ability.
Well, it's you wave flags and tell everybody how excited you are and what you've done on projects throughout. And this was a one big flag that I was going to be able to wave. And after about 2 months into this new title that I had and responsibilities, the ownership came to our company and told my boss and the owners that they were happy with the change and that their perspective of our company that I was working for had changed, and they were glad that they made the change.
Oh, that's quite a compliment. Yeah.
So.
Well, let me ask you this: if you're hiring, and I know you've hired a lot of people in your life, if you're hiring and looking for leaders and people who can make a difference in a recession or in any economic situation, what sort of traits do you look for?
I look for individuals that have some type of professionalism, either a trade school or college, preferably college and trade school combined. With the two together, like myself, they know how to talk, they know how to make presentations, they know how things are supposed to be assembled and installed in the field. And thirdly, I think the way everything is going nowadays is computer savvy. If you're not up to date on the computer systems and all the programs that are on the internet and all, I think you're at a loss. And somebody that can, somebody that's familiar with these programs on the computer can take whatever the company has and modify them and adjust them so that they can use them as they need in their current position.
Well, do you feel like your business background gives you a bottom line focus maybe that some folks don't have?
I think it gives me an advantage because most of my college credit hours in my major were in accounting. So I do understand how a P&L sheet works, how billing works, what the bottom line looks like and what it should look like.